Helsinki, Finland, and for the ASUS ROG Summer Championship. It is day 2 of the Overwatch tournament, where only 4 teams have left from 8. They're all gunning for that trophy. And we know we'll not go home with just a trophy, but with $5,000 as well. We have 2 teams who fought hard yesterday, one topping the Group A and one being the underdog of Group B. Can the hometown heroes playing in front of their friends and family hold off the French rage? We shall find out when these 2 teams fight it out on the battlefield. Please give it up for Helsinki Reds and Gamersorigin. How are you guys feeling?
We are feeling good, pretty confident. We are just ready to play.
Do you know anything about Helsinki Reds?
Sorry?
Do you know anything about Helsinki Reds?
Yeah, we played them a few times online, and we saw their game of yesterday. So we watched it, and we are ready.
How about you guys? Are you ready to play?
Yeah, feeling very good. Got our Zen mode on.
What do you know about the Gamersorigin?
Well, not much. Just played about like a couple of times against them. Not really much.
How's the record? How is the record against them?
Yeah, we got some tactics.
Okay, good. Please shake hands, and when you get on to your computers, it is time to head to our casters. In English, it is Hexagrams and Jason Kaplan. Suomeksi Tomppa ja JJ.
So I think that's actually our name in Finnish. Now I think every time we get introduced like that, I have to think about what exactly is he saying. And Tomppa, I think, is me.
Yes.
No, it's actually the Finnish casters we have here as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I can't take credit for that one. But yes, Hexagrams, we're underway with our second day. It's a lot less games today for us, luckily, because we were ridiculously tired last night. If you saw the casting, I had more of an excuse than you did. I had to fly 2 hours. You had to fly 27.
I know.
So clearly, I had the worst day.
I agree.
And we're about to get underway with our first match here. But of course, we can't really get fully into that game until we recap what happened throughout the entirety of yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a recap of what happened yesterday just to know what happened yesterday, because when you don't sleep very often, your mind has trouble forming memories.
It's true. You did ask me, like, what day is it today?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, Hex, you've been here for a week. And you're like,
and you
yeah, but
and you totally lied to me, and you're like, it's Thursday or something, and I'd be like, oh yeah, and you're like, it's not Thursday, it's clearly not. So you're taking advantage of my mental weakness, which
more ways than one.
Yeah, I'm used to it by now.
I mean, our rooms are adjoining.
Yeah, you know, you can't even open up that middle door. I tried to open it. They have to unlock it for you.
Yeah, no. I called up. I called.
You know?
Yeah, I called reception. They got it unlocked for me. You were passed out. But as you can see here, this was Group A that we had yesterday. It was filled with Gamersorigin, ENCE, Boom Esports, and RV. Again, the name is really hard to pronounce, and I don't want to mispronounce it, so we're calling them RV for now.
Runikavitsit.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Hex. Let me write it for some reason. And then Gamersorigin against Boom, where they ended up picking up that 2-0. ENCE did the same thing as well in their match, where they progressed to play in the winners match, which actually went to 3 games.
Yes.
And was very close. This is Group B. As you can see, new Ricky, not old Ricky, new Ricky, ended up playing against Helsinki. A lot of close games in this actual group too.
Yeah, Team Giganti, of course, you might know them as NIP, then RIP. They're under a new moniker. They got a new sponsor, which is good for those guys.
Yep.
They got through. The one game I do want to talk about, though, was a game that didn't even happen yesterday. It was the Finnish National Championships, happened this morning, and it was ENCE versus Gigante. And that'll be a match we see later today. Gigante lost that 2-3. So ENCE is capable of beating this Gigante team, and you and I have been talking about this NIP, RIP, Gigante team for a while, that they need something to shake them up, wake them up. They have all the talent in the world, always let you down, always break your heart. They're the European liquid, in my opinion, and what's going on?
You would think, like, almost not qualifying for contenders would be your wake-up call.
Right.
Then you would think barely scraping by in contenders to actually make it into the first season would be your wake-up call. Then you would think maybe even before that, when you almost lost 3-2 against Helsinki Reds in Assembly Winter Finals, that would be your wake-up call.
Yeah.
But nothing's really waking them up. I don't know. We want to see them do well, and obviously we talk negatively about them sometimes. They were the kings back in the triple tank setup. But since then, they've not adapted, not changed things up.
Maybe part of it can be like they're switching up the roster, but we mentioned a little earlier, they're switching up the roster a lot, but they're not really switching up the style around the roster they're bringing in. They're bringing in a lot of talent, a lot of DPS talent, but they're still kind of trying to play in the same style, and I think there has to be a sea change. They got to stop hitting the snooze button, right?
It's weird.
Wake up after wake up and just slamming that snooze button.
So like basically you today.
Very much.
No, like you can't keep focusing on Fraggy when it's not based around a tank meta anymore. But Gamersorigin, as we do have, going up against Helsinki Reds. This is an interesting match, actually. I don't know necessarily who's going to win this, but Gamersorigin did have a slight roster swap coming into this with Hardest picking up Zik's spot because Zik had to go to school in September. So like, all right, might as well switch you up now, get Hardest some experience within the team.
Yeah.
And I talked to their manager, their coach, and he was saying that, he's pretty much guaranteed to be on the team after it happens. Okay,
well, Hardest, the old veteran, as we went, he's been on every team in Europe ever.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's been on.
He's like the too easy. Except he doesn't get benched.
Mutta se,
like
millä Gamersorigin lähtee,
well,
niin se on,
we'll talk about them as we
kysymys.
go into the game here. We actually didn't get to see a whole lot of Gamersorigin yesterday in our group stages here. We're going to load right into Numbani as we kick it off here. Early on, we're going to see that Hardest is there. Hardest is going to be taking up one of the mantles of the DPS play. So everybody joins us outside. Take a look at our monitors. We wave hello to him. He'll be on 76. The 76 in the offense is interesting. You can see if he's going to be the other side. The dive comes in over the top. Now 76 is going to be trying to support that. But the dive already cut in half by Kryma. Hardest does punish him on the opposing vantage point, though. And the offense gets 3 kills, but they've lost a couple. Is it enough, Jason?
Well, we're going to find out. I think the defense is going to get the respawns back here quick enough, as you can still see BBR live on the point. Wumera as well is going to be able to maintain this one. And to be fair, one thing we did criticize about Helsinki Reds is that Kryma, for some reason, was always playing Zarya. They wouldn't really play D.Va much. And whenever he played Genji, you would see Wumera to switch over to D.Va if they wanted to run that. But Zarya, I mean, obviously with the recent changes, with her Graviton Surge being a lot more impactful now, being able to hold people in place, it doesn't change that she's still going to be really weak, or the rest of the team's going to be really weak without a D.Va to protect.
It doesn't change that D.Va's really, really good in the meta right now. So second burst, same as the first, as the jump in comes in over top, and yet again it is Van Vest who goes down very early on, losing to Winston on this dive. You have to think at a certain point you switch it up and maybe don't dive in, or you add more people into that dive, but it's the exact same thing that happened last time, and now the rest of the fight's going to be that much more difficult, Jason, without having your Winston there, and you see the cleanup comes through. Do you maybe just go a slow push up the stairs? Used to be a very big flavor in Numbani. This dive has been the exact same result both times.
I think it comes up to your faith in Hardest, actually, because if he can actually stay alive, if he can push the high ground and feel confident enough to be there, and potentially 1v1 Kryma, then he can sit in that position while the rest of the team goes in to create an opening for him to attack from another direction. But it's going to be very difficult because you can see how Helsinki Reds, they have a ton of ultimates. They have 6 ults ready to go. And I don't really see any support ultimates ready to protect them. Hip's at 70% on his Transcendence. You have Noki at 70% on his Sound Barrier. But it's basically just a dry run for Gamersorigin. You want to go in, bait out as many ultimates as you can out of the Helsinki Reds, and then from there look for the next fight.
The economy is a reflection of how the fights have gone early on, as you see that the defense is going to be loaded for Bear here. He has everything, but Dixie Dix gets in the backlines, takes on Exceed. Exceed has had a great day the last several days, but now in turn, Kryma gets a blade of his own, takes down 2, and with the Numbani push, you need nearly all 6. It's almost like an assault last. The walk is so far away. The buses broke down on the way there. You lose 2 in on the way to Numbani. Your hopes of getting first point are simply dashed.
To be honest, quite actually surprised to see how Helsinki Reds put up such a good defense here when Gamersorigin just slaughtered their opponents yesterday, pretty much taking no mercy against anyone. They dropped 1 map, and that was Hollywood against Ents, and that was it. But let's see.
Reds had a really hard path, too. They went to a couple best of 3s against Nuriki. They had to really gut it out yesterday, but maybe that's good for them, that they're warmed up. They're riding the momentum of having to play close matches. Dive comes in. This is the 3rd time they're going to try to dive. Now a little bit of a delayed dive as the D.Va didn't go up there with him right away. Now ults come in. Barriers on both sides. Now fade away. Hardest trying to get something going. Gets Lupe in his face. He's out of it. Couple of deaths, but this has actually been the best push so far for Geo.
It's actually a really good focus because we did see Kryma go directly to Hip to try to force out that Transcendence so they can get that out of the fight immediately. And because Hip's going to use it defensively here, it causes a lot of problems for him to use it later on in the fights. As we can see, it looks like Poké does have a self-destruct. I'm not sure if he's going to commit it into this one. There's no necessarily need to, unless you're somehow going to be losing this fight. But with Hardest able to pick up the kill, Ben Best as well, able to get the D-suit and the kill into BBR. It looks like finally Gamersorigin will take the point.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Exceed just popped his visor for some no good reason there as it came around the corner. It was all but over already then. He's unable to get himself back in. That is an interesting change, but we have some McCree for one of the first times in this entire tournament, and it's going to be hardest. It's got a really deep pool, as we said.
He does play a lot of McCree.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience. McCree is a hero that he's able to run. It's interesting to see McCree on the second point offense here because they're not going to have the natural high ground of defense would. They're also going to switch to a Doom Fist. It's Doom time, and that's going to be Dixie Dix.
Yeah, so I actually did talk to Gamersorigin before we did get here today, and they were saying they like to pair a Doom Fist with like a McCree or like a Tracer, but with like another hit scan player, not necessarily a projectile, to have that consistent damage that maybe a projectile can't 100% give you. And so far, they get engaged on, and they completely whitewashed here. I don't think Dixie Dix was able to get in a position necessarily with the Doom Fist to really make it work.
Right.
But I don't know, I didn't really feel necessarily the Reinhardt here. I feel like you were doing, pretty much fine with the comp you're running. Yeah, you struggled a little bit capturing that first point, but keep Dixie Dix on the Genji, where he can be so mobile and so hard to chase down on second point.
They're also going to roll into a Zarya here, and Opoko's a very good Zarya, one of the Zaryas that we mentioned before the tournament started that we could see play out of him with the patch changes. I do like the Reinhardt here for the reason of just giving your McCree some space, give him the room to operate behind that shield there. An interesting Dragon Blade gets absolutely nothing except a headshot from Hardest there late towards the end. Now also go back and forth, Transcend pop for the defense. And Self-Destruct comes in over the top, does get 3! The shields fade away way too late, and Lumera ends that with a downtown shot over the top. 3-pointer, 3 kills, same way.
It was like a half-court shot.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say 3-point. I'm going to give him a half-court on that one. That was really well done.
Even if you shoot it from a half-court, Jason, it's only worth 3.
See, that's what's wrong with the NBA.
Yes, I agree. They need like Rock and Chalk rules. You remember Rock and Chalk basketball?
No.
Yeah, it was like on MTV. There was a basket that was like 40 feet above the other basket. It was worth 25 points.
And just add trampolines.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Earthshatter comes through, Raven does get knocked down, and eventually picked off here, but Crumb is there to respond. Exceed as well on the high ground. He's not going to be taken by the Earthshatter because Earthshatter was changed. There was always a potential to be hit from up there.
Yeah.
Totally joking. Hollywood Cafe. I'm reminding you of that one, Hex. Old war stories for you.
Yes.
So you can't go that high with Earthshatter anymore. Gets the freedom he needs, and they're going to chase this one down as well. So Gamersorigin, 25 seconds left. The team that we probably had to beat in this entire group, in the semifinal, to make their way through to the grand finals, and yet they're struggling to get any distance here on Numbani. Ultimates, they do have the Graviton, they do have the High Noon as well. If they can get the D-suit on Wilmera, or maybe force his defense to make a stop for the majority of it, you could get a huge Deadeye.
Right, or maybe just try to get a charge in. You don't see a whole lot of charges anymore, but now he's already up on the cart. They're going to take a lot of damage. D-suit should be coming in. High Noon does go off. It only gets Prima. Actually, D-suit's Wilmera there towards the end, trading back and forth as Rupe has gotten a lot of stall out here with this Primal Rage. The Transcend also up to keep him alive, and they are falling one by one is Gamersorigin. This is not the result they expected for Numbani.
But I mean, the majority of kills there were like killed by Lucio, killed by Winston, and yet you shouldn't really be dying to those two heroes in particular, and they're still picking up these kills. The overtime is taken away, and they've been able to do it. Helsinki Reds have held in second point at 50 meters right outside the spawn of Gamersorigin, and this is really worrisome for me. And
I don't know if you can hear the crowd, but Gamersorigin, of course, not necessarily the fan favorites.
Who would have thought?
When we're in Helsinki here, the Helsinki Reds happen to be the hometown favorites, and crowd's going wild for him. I'm a little surprised, not stunned, based on how well Helsinki played yesterday. One bit of note, though, is that I do believe this was Helsinki Reds map choice, so that does play into it just a little bit. We are doing a best of 3 here. This is how tight the finals are, how volatile they can be. Our next map will be Nepal. We'll definitely have to go there. And should we need a third map, it'll be Helsinki Reds map choice in Hollywood.
That's not a great last map for them to choose, actually, because Gamersorigin played Nepal twice yesterday, played Hollywood twice.
I was looking through the maps that Helsinki Reds chose throughout the tournament and our ban sheets, and there's no consistency to it at all. Helsinki Reds chose Ilios, they chose Numbani, they chose Route 66, they chose Dorado, they chose Nepal. So Helsinki Reds comfortable on all sorts of maps here. But man, that's a really terrible offense, just straight up.
Well, and they struggled on the first point so many times, right? Like they actually couldn't even get good ground. And it seems like their dive was really misplaced. We saw like Winston, Ben Best go high ground to push away their supports, and they saw Dix go like on low ground, and it wasn't really joined into like the right targets. It wasn't hitting the right places. And
it seems a bit of counter synergy if you want to run the 76 to dive that deeply. Because what you're doing is you're pushing the prime targets away and into cover where your 76 is on the opposing ledge. So I think the dive needs to be almost like a fake dive into that corner and then come back out. So
we saw it on one point Gibraltar, remember, where they jumped high ground, they forced the 2 supports back in the soldier, and they transitioned.
They cut him in half.
Right.
So there was something going on there. I think Hardest didn't get necessarily the sightlines that he wanted on Soldier 76. He has transitioned over to McCree, which he did in second point last time. He's going to stay on that McCree. Are we actually going to see it? I do believe this is one of the few points you can run a Torb. Noki's still on it right now, and we're out of setup time. The attack is coming. We've got a Torb. You're exciting, Jason Kaplan.
Thank you for calling me that. Not confusing me with Jeff Kaplan. I appreciate it.
Oh, I thought your name was Jack Kaplan.
Jack.
No,
that's Jake.
Jake.
Yep. So we do see a Doomfist, though. The turret out of Noki's going to be taken out immediately here, so that's not a really good position to be in. Now he's got to go for the rebuild here. I think he's off kind of maybe towards himself, but Hardest gets the kill on a Kryma, though. Nice little flashbang comes through. And the finisher. Remember, flashbang was changed, so the momentum of the person being flashed pretty much gets halted. It gets slowed down drastically.
It's better. It's
a lot better.
It's a much better flashbang. It's more consistent, and I say that even as someone who gets flashed often and square at my screen when it happens, but it did need to be changed. Definitely more consistent. Gamersorigin to hold this first point. Only person going down there was Ben Best. Ben Best has been a martyr for this team. He's died in like every single fight, but that one was okay. Got a lot done.
Ben Best on defense likes to play a really defensive Winston. So he'll dive the opposing Winston who dives. So if Rupe dives in, he'll follow him and try to protect with shields and stuff like that.
Well, that's
healing, going his direction.
It's extra smart if you're going to run like a McCree as well. So McCree needs space. You can't let him get dove upon. He's very, very bad in close quarters. So what you see right there, he gets slapped, but they wake him immediately. Dive continues to come, but they do retreat. They fall back into it, and now the turret goes to town. 2 down, 3 down already for Helsinki Reds, and this is just a defensive battle on Numbani.
I mean, that's what you're going to expect, though. They invested a nano onto Ben Best, and like the dive was misplaced. They were trying to bait out some ultimates. Helsinki Red didn't commit anything into it, so that's completely fine. I think that's like ideally what they're going for. But
if you tell me I can win one fight with just a nano, I'm fine with it every time of day, because look at all the other ults are about to come online for them.
They were so split, though. Look where Prettywise was. He was down towards Omega, straight ahead of where Noki is, like by himself, and got chased out by Ben Best. Like I don't know if the positioning wasn't really the smartest. Maybe he did have like a teammate there that got taken out. Maybe it was Kryma eventually got picked off there or something like that. But actually, no, Kryma did go high ground. So
one of the reasons I love Torb on this map is it's just something you have to deal with. You have to get back there to deal with it. It forces the attack angle from the offense. You know exactly where you have to defend there. Already, there's a kill onto Rupe. There's already the tank down. Self-destruct's going to come out as zoning self-destruct, not even ironically there.
No, it wasn't even zoning. He actually got desuited, so he used it so he can get the resuit back in because he knew he would need to be alive in this fight. He knew he needed his mech to help them survive and maintain this hold, this point, because they cannot afford to let this payload go. If they do, and they die somehow with like 3 people into the second phase, they're going to lose the entire map.
Your best chance is a first hold here. You're absolutely right. Molten Core was thrown into that, and Anti-Heal's going to come down on Rupe there as he tries to get back. They have to retreat right now. Molten Core is a very good ultimate. You just don't see it very often because you don't see a lot of Torbjorn, but 800 HP on the turret, 500 on your Torb, and you get double damage out of
armor.
Yeah, it's brutal. You can almost not deal with it at all unless you have a total focused team fight, and then you have to deal with the rest of the 5. So the jump in comes in very early from the Winston there. He's going to get okay positioning here. They are able to poke down that turret, and a dash through comes in. Prettywise gets in there. Now the first couple of kills going the way of Helsinki Reds. This is looking bad for GO. If they lose the first point, they're going to have to defend very far forward because their first point defense or first push defense is very strong for the side of Helsinki.
Well, it makes it even worse, too, because the way they're dying right now with how much progress has already been taken, they're going for the full respawn. They have to go all the way back to their base to get back to the front point. If you're Helsinki Reds, you push out here. You pick them off if they try to come back in. You get some chip in, and then you just shove this payload into that gold checkered flag on the ground. Like, this is the worst thing that can happen for a Gamersorigin.
I think you send Kryma and you send Lumera as far forward as you possibly can.
And you get exceeded in good high ground position.
Yes, you let them try to work themselves out and get going. I think even if you're Kryma here and you see an opportunity where someone's just kind of coming up alone, you blade it out.
And he should have went back. He should have went completely behind them here because that blade from behind is going to be so deadly. And we're seeing Noki switch over to the Lucio. We're going to have at least the Data come in to buy some time and the Nano Boost being invested, but that's pretty much every ultimate they have. Ben Best will be able to transition into his Primal Rage, but there's Kryma picking up a double, picking up a triple, and pretty much solidify this victory here for Helsinki Reds. Going to get the Desu finally onto Poco and the kill, and I think they've been able to do it here. Gamersorigin are going to fall in the first map.
Numbani looks very foreign to Gamersorigin. Helsinki Reds making the crowd go wild here. They absolutely crush it. Kryma had himself a good Genji game, which makes all the times that he played Zarya yesterday even that much more confusing.
Yeah, and I don't want to give him I don't even want to give him an out, right? I'm not gonna say, oh, you made up for it here, right? You made up for it with the Genji. No.
There's still yesterday.
You can't pop off one game in one day and then not do well the days before. I mean, his Genji wasn't terrible before.
No.
But also keep in mind, we did see, I don't know who it was in Helsinki Reds, but he's not wearing shoes. Maybe that's the key to playing well.
He's got to be relaxed.
You know, I used to actually not wear shoes when casting, just be in socks.
Oh, yeah?
And if it was hot enough, I would actually take my shorts off.
It's like the opening scene of Die Hard, where Bruce Willis is on the plane. Right?
I thought you were talking about the glass floor.
Well, yeah, because he has to take off his shoes later because he's got to relax, touch his feet on the carpet without his shoes, and that's why the glass scene is so iconic, because he had to take his shoes off when the terrorists attacked. Die Hard teaches us everyday lessons. One of the best Christmas movies ever made.
Obviously, it's a Christmas movie, right? There's a Christmas tree in it once.
It happens.
Probably a menorah in there eventually.
It happens on Christmas.
Probably some Kwanzaa-related things.
Sure, right? It's multicultural.
Yeah.
Die Hard, ladies and gentlemen. All right, our next map is going to be...
I did like one with Samuel Jackson. That was 3, right? Where they go through the entire city.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
And they're like weighing the water. Oh,
it's amazing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Die Hard 2, Die Harder is not all that good, but 3 was very good.
Yeah,
After that, they don't exist. That's how Die Hard goes.
No, there's one with Justin Long, though.
There is not. Thank you for...
Not even a thing.
Thank you for bringing it up.
So yes, Helsinki Reds picked up that map, ended up taking the checkpoint, even finished the map, actually. Surprisingly, I expected at least one of the teams to get the third point. But what's our next map? Because you mentioned earlier on, but I don't remember.
We're going to Nepal.
Okay.
Nepal from Gamersorigin. Now, on the pick
ban,
not good. So just a small caveat, I don't have full information, but on the pick ban sheet I saw and had to copy down real quick, it said BO3. So I don't know if this control now is BO3s.
No.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense if we done
this. No way.
Okay, so I think the whole set, of course, is going to be a BO3 as we've been doing those. Our grand final, of course, which happens later this evening, will be a best of 5. It'll be the first best of 5 in the tournament.
I wanted a high 5.
Well, you missed out on that one. So Nepal's map choice is going to be, or Gamersorigins choice is going to be Nepal. You want a high 5?
Yeah, I got one. No, but this is where Helsinki Reds just does not perform well. We see Crime on Zarya for no reason. We don't see a diva in there.
Right.
And that was probably like the biggest thing we had written down when we were preparing for this is do not run diva on cough.
Yeah.
Or on control.
That was our big note. We're
like,
prepping,
why?
we watched them in the ELC tournaments, and we're like, why? Where's the
They're
diva?
up against like triple hit scan, and they're still not running diva. Like, I mean, his energy generation is above average. It's good.
Oh, he's a good Zarya.
Good grab time.
No, it's not even. It's not about his Zarya.
It's not about how good your Zarya can be. It's about how much you miss out on for your team.
I completely agree. And now you're going to run into a team that's at least going to try to run a McCree.
En osaa
I think a team
ihan
would be pretty good
varmaksi
against
sanoa, että siellä on kuitenkin
I don't know, I'm not super smart in Overwatch, but I
on
think
vahva
he's pretty good against
sarja,
McCree.
mutta toisaalta Boomera Traceri on ollut kanssa vahva näissä peleissä, niin uskon, että sieltä kyllä Boomera lähtee rohkeasti haastamaan Tracerille 1v1.
Minimize?
Extinguish his damage, yeah. But McCree can do decent against Zarya, obviously. You wait for the bubble to go down, you flashbanger, double headshot. She does like 1
Oh, we got double Zarya here, as Poco's going to run it, and in our prep for this tournament, we said, well, who's going to run Zarya?
I don't mind that.
Maybe Poco.
Because you have hip to protect you with Ana. Like, I think it's like Zarya. If you
they're running a Doomfist too. Doomfist Zarya is natural synergy as well.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you made a joke, but actually it is with the ultimate. But I mean, like, if you're running a Zarya, your biggest downfall is if you get overextended because you have no escape mechanism, right? And you need the protection of someone who can heal you really quickly, or like a Reinhardt to protect you. So you have the healing like crazy to keep you alive if you get overextended to maintain that high energy, which he's going to need to do against Krima.
Well, so far just poking around. Already, though, Hardest gets himself a support in the backline as he's taken out pretty wise. Poco now already down, going to make the Doomfist a little bit more cautious. Not going to have those allied shield. Already a boost goes down. That is a lot of healing. That's what happens in this double tank meta here if you just take a lot of poke. They already gave Ben Best the boost on there, able to swipe through the point. And that's enough for Gamersorigin to clear it off long enough to take first control.
Keep in mind, though, the fact that Hip did get a nano boost that early means he had no pressure on him. It means no one was attacking in the back line. And when you're an Ana sitting there like that, you get so much free healing off, you're not going to ever complain about that. You have no pressure against you, and you're going to keep your teammates alive, which, I mean, Dixie Dix was the first one to finally go down after they did capture the point. It looks like they will lose quite a few. I think Krima accidentally right-clicking and killing himself there. And I don't think Gamersorigin has enough people left alive to defend the point, but they're still going to just buy as much percent as they can.
They don't. This is great stall. Ben Best is just going to walk right on there. He's got Dixie Dix with him. Dixie Dix not long for this world as Romero finds him there. But I don't know, what's it, 10% for 2 lives? You didn't have to throw any ults at it. The problem is Helsinki Reds, after taking it back, didn't have to use any ults to do so. The only ults I think that came out dueling there was they both had sound barriers. Nothing really happened on both sides there. But they were able to bank it up. Helsinki Reds now in control, 37 on the
that's
clock.
dirty. That's so dirty. That's why maybe a Diva's really good, because if your target gets left, you can protect him from a fire strike, from a biotic grenade that's going to kill you. They lose their soldier, they lose that tac visor, and now they might lose the point.
And a pretty poor Graviton there at the end as well. Grabbed everyone, but there was no cleanup. Prima did go down afterwards. Now Poco coming alive on his own Zarya. And now the economic tables have turned as well. There's some stall out here, which is decent enough, but they're going to give up all their lives just to stall out for a second. But they're going to get it still at 42. Not taking it over yet. The Primal Rage buying them all sorts of percentage, buys them time to get another stall on.
Okay, the thing is right here, right? The point was turned, so Primal's going to eventually die, but Helsinki Reds had a lot of ultimates to use on defense, but because Exceed got caught out, their defense crumbled really quickly, right?
Yeah.
And if you're sitting here on 5 ultimates like Gamerorigin's doing, you can cycle these ultimates, right? You can cycle this for a good 50% of time. So you have Poco to use the Graviton into the Meteor Strike, and you also have a shield from Reinhardt to protect a Deadeye out of Hardest, and you also have a Nano Boost to do Electric Cowboy if you want. Like, if they do this correctly, they can cycle their ultimates to finish off this map. And Helsinki Red's getting caught off just completely.
There it is. Here comes the Meteor Strike. There's going to be no sound barrier up. Nope, they just Deadeye it instead. Crack the bubble over the top. No D.Va to eat any of that bullets as well. So that is one cycle combination right there. I really wanted to see the Meteor Strike because they should have known there's going to be no sound barrier. The timing.
So I disagree. I agree and I disagree.
No,
after I thought about it.
No, I don't want to see it strategically. This is just as I wanted to see Graviton and the Meteor Strike.
No, I agree. I agree with that one. I think actually strategically it was smart to not combo that because the Deadeye's a lot harder to get kills with than I think the Meteor Strike.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah.
Going off on a different tangent. I like how they use that. So now they have the threat in the back lines of Helsinki Reds of this Meteor Strike coming through. They have to be very careful. This looks like Poco's actually been Nano Boosting here on the Zarya, looking to build up a lot of energy. He's got some decent charge too. It's very reminiscent of what we see Sinatra do with Selfless, or when they were good. And Gamersorigin is going to take the first map.
Yeah, very nice. As we mentioned when they had the 6 ults, just good staggering there, and you're absolutely correct. In practice...
Can you just keep saying that? See, that's something Mitch never does for me. He never says you're absolutely correct, Jason.
In practice, the Deadeye is the correct ult to use in that situation.
I love that.
As a fan, Graviton into Meteor Strike would have been baller as hell to watch.
Oh, no, I completely agree. It would have been baller as hell. But it was smart. It was smart. I mean, the thing is, if I'm Doomfist there and I'm playing live on stage, you're sure as hell I'm going to hit my Q button and go in for... Even if the Deadeye, hear the Deadeye going...
Just like down to the corpses,
I got this.
Right?
Yeah. We'll time it. See who can click quicker.
Yeah, so you can get there.
Yeah, no, it was smart play to them. Really played that one well. I think they're showing that, Control is going to be a stronger set of maps for them.
Yeah.
And Helsinki Red should know that. I'm surprised they didn't just ban out every Control, honestly.
Yeah, you can bet. So how the maps work in this tournament is everything's available, and they ban everything, absolutely everything, until we go down and until we have 3 left. So it was possible to ban out every certain type of map stage if you wanted to, because all the bans happened before any of the picks happened. Anyway, Poco comes in here, Krima already down. A huge anti-heal should lead to a lot of cleanup. That is such a difficult time, and again, you just have to wonder if the D.Va was there. Because the D.Va stops the Ana, too.
You took this from me. You took this from me. I was like, let's think tank this.
Yes, well, Ana was so important on the previous stage as well, with some of the anti-heals and some of the sleeps. D.Va does really well against Ana. It's just, you see what they're running, and I don't know, it's confusing. I'm going to let it go after this.
I'm not going to let it go yet because
don't run a D.Va.
Ana was really weak when we had dive comp because D.Va would stop the Huni we could do to Winston. And that's why Zenyatta was so good. He put the orb on him, he can't be mitigated by the defense matrix. But they're running Ana with a Reinhardt. I doubt they're going to run the Ana with the Winston unless it was Nabani first, because that's acceptable if you want to run like Solar Healer or something.
Yeah, even on Gibraltar you can, but it's not going to be Gibraltar. So right away, a couple of kills. Again, another very quick boost because, as you mentioned, you don't pressure that Ana and she gets all that anti-heal and those kind of things. You're going to have boosts very early.
It's like she counters the Bio Grenade pretty Wise's ultimate with a basic ability.
Yeah.
And like with how he's seeing Hip hitting these Bio Grenades, I sure as hell am confident he's going to hit like 3 people in a transcendence.
As good as Helsinki was on Numbani, we are starting to see the weakness of Helsinki, and it's their versatility. They don't really have much of it. And they have players who will run D.Va. They don't have a dedicated D.Va player. They do the rogue approach where whoever's not on DPS has to play D.Va. And
I feel bad for BBR because he has to play the Lucio.
Yeah.
Just like, guys, if I'm like sitting here playing the Lucio for the team, one of you can play D.Va for the team, okay?
Fair enough.
At least with D.Va, you can occasionally get kills with self-destruct.
This is a good point. You can run Reinhardt on. They've been running Reinhardt the last couple of matches, but this one in particular because you can just post up in the house, cover a complete angle with that rectangle shields. Now it's an interesting kill. Hardest does go down to the Lucio somewhere in there. They're going to have to bust out the sound barrier. Still all getting very low. Transcend comes in on the other side. Let's see how this one ends up. Poco does lose a late grab. Very low in health. He's trying to be his own cleanup. Not quite enough. Only gets the Winston.
There's a Meteor Strike. He'll try to use it in the grab, but there's only one man in the grab, and eventually he will fall. But they bought a lot of time. 89% now built up for them, and they're continuing this steam. This is going to be really hard if a train to stop here. You have an Earthshatter available. Luckily for Helsinki Reds, Earthshatter, it's not a very viable ultimate against a mobile team like Helsinki Reds.
Right.
But however, on this map it is, because like you said, you
They
fight
have to come
inside
in.
the point,
Yeah.
they have to come to you, and that's an easy one-man or shatter, if anything.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to take this slow. As you see them posting up around the corner, they're just going to try to find a slow angle, slow push, rotate around, actually get speed boosted in. Winston's going to come in. They're going to try to kind of ignore him for now.
Oh.
They would love to set up. That's a huge bomb, though. That setup is already down. Done just like this fight is, as a double kill onto both tanks from Woomera. Able to end that fight before it starts. That is the power of Pulse Bomb, and that's the power of Pulse Bomb against a composition that does want to group up and get into the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's like their biggest detriment, the biggest downfall they're going to have their composition, especially when there's no Diva in the enemy team. But to be fair, one thing is like Diva wouldn't save them here, to be honest. That it would do a decent amount, but it wouldn't save them completely because Poco's just going to completely ignore you, and they keep emphasizing a lot onto him with the nano boost, and a lot of healing has been prioritized towards this man.
So an interesting angle here is they're going to try to rotate up the stairs through the side. Now they get themselves caught in a house. Not an ideal situation, but that's not where you want to be fighting a Doomfist either, is in a hallway.
This healing, like a bio grenade plus amped up healing I've loosed when you're that tightly grouped up is insane. Woomera doesn't have his pulse bomb just yet.
A really premature sound barrier to save his own skin, and it's not going to be enough. Here comes a Deadeye, a huge Deadeye, 3 kills as the Genji wind up queued up. The Deadeye had to be in response. 3 people down as they'd already lost sound barrier. The Winston shield was down. Another clutch Deadeye from Hardest, Jason.
Well, he was nanoed as well, and you'd never expect, even with the Deadeye changes like 2 patches ago where they made it accumulate damage quicker, like 0.8 seconds quicker, you don't expect how much damage you can really do when you get nano boosted on top of that, and they get completely caught off. They lose 3, and Gamersorigin now going to take the second point of Nepal, and are 1 map away from tying things up. And just to reiterate this for everyone at home who just started watching, this is only a best of 3. Semi-final number 1, best of 3.
Yeah.
Going to the final map, which you're going to tell me what it is.
Hollywood.
Exactly. I knew you were here for a reason.
I know.
Besides your charmingly good looks.
Well, that's clearly not the reason, so I better write down the maps when they come in, huh?
At least you know what you're good for. Oh, man.
I'm self-aware. Of anything else, at least I'm self-aware. I mean, the only fight they won was like the Tracer Pulse Bomb incoming, really. And then they scrapped out the other one with some ults. It's just been all Gamersorigin on these control points, and it's mostly look.
It's not the Diva.
No, but
it's not the Diva.
But it is a failure to adjust to the composition you're seeing. I mean, there's the dive can be good, but I think the Zarya is helping out with the dive, and then they're not pressuring the Ana. And Ana's such a huge part when you're running 2 tanks to deal with this. We'll see how it goes this time.
Well, with the way Hip's been playing, I wouldn't want to play Genji against that. That's just too scary. Like, Sleep Dart's too real. Obviously,
but then
the
it's got to be a
damage
Woomera, and Woomera, it's frightening to play out an Ana as a Tracer, too. I mean, she's a backline threat, but you have to have some answer to it. It's got to be the full dive, I think. But they're doing very good at catching the dive. And you mentioned Ben Best does it on the Winston. He's been doing it on the Reinhardt as well.
Well, Crime at 65% on his Graviton already. Poco at 50.
Yeah.
Man is charging like a beast. 86 now. Like this 97. What the hell's happening? How is this man going to have a Graviton surge already? One more right click, and he's going to be able to pull them all together and finish them off. He has it. Use it, son. Throw this in.
They're so clumped up. They're just going to transcend first, see all the poke damage that they can get down, force out some ults. The grab does come in, but they nano boost their own Zarya out of it. They do get a couple kills. Everyone's very low. However, not the full cleanup. Artist down to Pretty Wise, and Pretty Wise is fragging out 3 kills from the Zenyatta. He has regardless of that, 3 kills from the Zenyatta was a great play from Pretty Wise there. And he's just going in search of his maker down below. I mean, this is his home map, right?
It is. Monthada. I'm so confused how Crime got his Graviton before Poco when you have a Reinhardt to block your damage. I don't understand how that works. Graviton could be coming out of Poco this time. I'm not sure how many people caught on to. Looks like quite a few, but there's no fault for that one. And actually, Benbest almost being knocked off the entire map here. He's going to come up big with Attack Visor, gets a kill on Inoki and Poco, is able to force them back here to maintain the point for Helsinki Reds.
Helsinki has done okay on this point. I mentioned yesterday that there's certain points on each map that teams are either good at or bad at, certain stages rather.
Yeah.
So some teams are just good at the first couple of points in Nepal and bad at Sanctum. Sanctum seems to be an outlier for a lot of teams. That either you're very good at it, and it's the only stage you're good at in Nepal, or you're very bad at it, it's the only stage you're bad at in Nepal. It's just very different. A double Deadeye to open things out, unexpected there from Hardest. Hardest unable to finish his plate as he flashbangs the Lucio, still dies. I keep the camera on this guy as well, as Pretty Wise just did just a lot of work there. Now, though, not going to be enough. He's getting bullied out of this. Flip has been taken over by Gamersorigin on the point is they're going to hold far forward. What more tanks allows you to do is holding this far forward point, and on Sanctum in particular, there's not really another better entry. Even going around, it's very easy to tell they're going around to the outside. You have to bully through main.
You got Shatter too, so like even if you're running like a dive comp, which they're not really anymore for Helsinki Reds, I guess they kind of are.
Yeah.
Earth Shatter's going to be a very real possibility. They only have one shield. It's going to be up to... Actually, we talked about this before. I remember talking to you like when we first got in here, what Zarya can technically do with her own self-shield or her shield on someone else, you could block an Earth Shatter with it and protect people behind you. Unless that was changed, which I don't believe it was, then you can still technically block it. So there's 2 chances or 3 chances, but it's going to be very difficult to pull this one off. The charge they come through, I think it hits someone into the wall, but the Transcendence is going to keep them healthy here. Krama very close to another Graviton Surge, but Poco is now going to have it, and Poco has an opportunity to use it, but Hardest takes down pretty wise. The Graviton's going to be popped off, and Hardest isn't in a position to pick up these kills, but Dixie Dix is going to sure as hell be there, and that should be Krama being charged towards his death. And Gamersorigin building up percent, 60 now.
As good as it looked early on for Helsinki Reds, and this Gamersorigin is taking control with this with their tank-heavy, sustained style. They've really just been confusing for Helsinki to try to deal with. They haven't had the burst damage. The dive hasn't been there to find isolated targets. Honestly, who are you going to dive here and feel safe diving? Hardest? They've just been playing this kind of death ball style that is, in theory, can be somewhat immune to dive at times unless the dive's executed perfectly. Prime is going to have grab up, and yesterday Helsinki made their bones on grab into Pulse Bomb. There it is. There's the grab. The sound barrier comes out with the Pulse Bomb, and the follow-through through Exceed will take down 3. That should be enough for them to grab this point in the 25th hour. 95% on the board for Gamersorigin. 94, excuse me. Spoke too soon. As Helsinki Reds will take it back over. They are down 2-0 in this map, but they are up 1-0 in the set. So trying to get the reverse sweep.
That was like a sound barrier used, though, to stop that. Like, they used a sound barrier within the Graviton Surge to, like, survive that damage coming through. When Mary's Pulse only got 1 because I think Noki just took a little bit too much from Exceed. But here we go, see. Deadeye going to be protected. Somehow gets a kill on a Krima. I'm not sure how the hell you get that. You should know when this is going to be over. Transcendence going to be popped as well, which won't really prevent the damage being done by a Deadeye. But you can see Exceed trying to push them back again. Their shield is going to be there. Mini Diva, I guess we'll call it now for him, eating up his damage. But Ben Best, I think he just got nano boosted, and he's an angry Reinhardt.
Just swinging the hammer all the way through. Doesn't have to worry about it. They've got allied shields. They're just going to take control of the point and make them come to him. No need. Victory Shatter. Victory Shatter. No need. Gamersorigin with the clean sweep on Nepal. We see why they selected that map there, Jason. They had a plan and a refusal to adjust to the plan from Helsinki Reds. Not enough burst damage. This is the one burst damage. The only fights Helsinki Reds really won was off the back of Tracer and off the back of ults and pulse bombs, which is nice and it's flashy, but you need to win vanilla Overwatch sometimes, at least sometime during a map to be able to do it.
I think the fights that they won were like based off of Gamersorigin rushing it. Like rushing, like remember when they pushed on the village on the second point when Mary got that pulse bomb onto 2 of them?
Yeah.
They like just rushed in. They're like, all right, let's just go to the point because I think they felt confident enough.
They speed boosted it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they felt confident enough that they didn't really care about strategy to get back onto the point. They could have went high ground. They could have used the high ground advantage with the Reinhardt to protect, but instead they just rushed in, right? So I think that was just maybe a little bit of cockiness out of them, but nonetheless, like that was pretty damn convincing. And we're going to another hybrid map, which
really was.
They didn't look good at all on.
No, they've been banning out a lot of hybrid maps as well. Let's see, yesterday they didn't choose any hybrid maps, well, except for Numbani. They chose Numbani.
They played Hollywood twice, but they won once against Boom, and they lost against Ents. And then they did have King's Row, actually. Wow, King's Row. I didn't even know that map still was in the pool, considering we haven't seen it played at all, like this entire tournament.
It's been very early on the ban list for the most part.
Out of like the 37 maps we casted yesterday, we haven't seen it once. We saw like the same maps quite a few times.
There's definitely a Finnish map meta here. I think we've seen like 6 total maps.
Yeah.
Everyone plays the same maps here in Finland.
Route, Nepal,
Lijiang a little bit. They love Route 66. We saw a lot of Route 66.
Yeah.
We saw like one Dorado, Hollywood a couple times. Yeah, Hollywood's pretty popular, which is the map we're going into next. Yeah. Now, Helsinki Reds has struggled a little bit against a Pharmacy combo. I don't know necessarily if Gamersorigin has the guys to run it. I mean, Hardest can play everything. I know that. I know that he probably could play a Pharah if pushed to it. Do you think we'll see any Pharmacy?
I don't think there's a need to.
Yeah.
When you have like Dixie Dix playing Genji like that, and Hardest who can play Tracer pretty well. Like you don't necessarily, I feel like you need to force out a Pharah unless you're just like the unicorn with it, right? You're like one of those teams that you can always run Pharah Mercy because they're that good at it.
Right. Like.
I don't think there's an. I mean, I think they can flex to it if they need to, but I don't think we're gonna see it.
McCree on second point though from Hardest. Get him up top. Well, elevator ride.
It's interesting the fact that Dixie Dix was playing Soldier, and he was playing McCree at like some point. Like he obviously was playing Soldier before. I think if there's no D.Va, then yeah. Because if you see Wimera, no, because you see, the thing is, like, if you dive with D.Va and you have your Winston, your Tracer, and your Genji, hitting a flashbang is like really difficult. Yeah, obviously, like it's not impossible. It's really difficult. But if you see Wimera dive in, easy flashbang, easy headshot, easy kill. Okay. You can protect yourself for the most part against a Winston. I still say McCree does beat Winston 1v1 if you play it properly, because if you don't hit the headshots and you get the backwards roll, like you're gonna take him out. I saw that actually quite a bit in APAC by a player named Maps do that over and over again. It's a safe pick for him. If they keep running the death ball comp with a Reinhardt, why not? I think they will run a death ball comp at least on first, because I think it's one of the points where you can still run that slow push. You just walk yourself onto the point. As long as someone's looking behind for the Tracer, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, she can do a little bit of poke, but with the Ana there's so much sustain that it's not that big. Yeah, I think that's why you see some of the Finnish teams and Gigante even, like, we used to love Hollywood, because you could just take your tanks and walk onto the point, and what's the other team going to do about it? Yeah, that's true, actually. That was played a hell of a lot. I think, though, if you're Helsinki Reds, like, I don't think you're thinking anymore about how to counter Gamersorigin. You're thinking about how can we play our own style better. Like, what can we do? What can we change in our own play style that will help us counter what Gamersorigin is doing? Like, there's no point now throwing a D.Va into this. It's just a waste. Like, you haven't practiced it. Too late. Yeah, it's too late. You haven't practiced it. Don't bother. Yeah. You just need to play what you know and hopefully play it better than you've been playing it. Looks like Helsinki Red's going to be on the attack here. And Gamersorigin on the defense. Hip going to be playing on a yet again. Hardest going to be on the McCree, like you mentioned. And Dixie Dix back on the Genji. So a lot of flank potential, a lot of upfront damage potential if you do dive in, because they don't have that D.Va. And look at this, Poco gets a kill on Zurape somehow, or Rupe there, and then they just charge. It's the chase damage of that Genji, too, because I was looking at it, I'm like, well, no 76 is odd. You generally want to put a 76 in a cafe, although they are running their own variation of Hitscan and McCree. Yeah, I think it depends. Like, I think this is where you're going. If they want to hold up front, you want to hold like with the McCree, because you have the flashbang potential. I agree, yeah. And that Genji was great for the chase potential, too. If you don't have the Genji there, you're not getting the dashes to finish the last 2 kills that they got, which is a crucial thing if you're going to go that far in, to get more than just 1 kill. You don't want to chase out and get nothing out of it. So they're going to hold a little bit up front now. That's where the Reinhardt position is. Man, I've been seeing a lot more Reinhardt this weekend. It's actually fun to see. Poco, 90%, 99% as Graviton now has it. They're going to be groups coming through this doorway, and you know what? You can't escape this Ben Best getting nano boosted. Everything being thrown into this Grav. Into the blender, we should call it here. And now Ben Best, like, we talked about this, right? This is something we always mention. I think I talked about a long time ago. You nano boost your Zarya to get your Graviton quicker. Right. Yeah. But you also Graviton to help your Reinhardt build an Earthshatter quicker. Right, exactly. And you can nano boost your Reinhardt. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to. Really didn't need to do that. But he looks cooler when he's glowing. Oh, of course, yeah. Right. Everything looks better. No, but again, this is the old NIP style as well. This is how they played it. You boost your Reinhardt, now he's going to have Shatter. Nano boost is such a cool ultimate because that helps you gain other ults. It helps you stack ultimates. It helps your economy. A very early kill on to Prettywise is going to mean this push is over. Chase is on, kind of. Look at the way, we just had the overview camera. I wanted to show you, look, like the way Gamersorigin position themselves within like groups. You have obviously Ben Best and Poco in the front, then you have Noki, and you have Hip sticking together in the middle, and you have Hardest sitting towards the back. Right. So he's protecting his supports from the outside with the tanks in the front and McCree in the back, and then you always have the pressure of Tracer, which is going to flank, which Wimera tried, flashbang kill. Or if Hardest gets 1v1'd, you can heal him, turn around and heal him. You have the protection. The supports don't have to look at themselves, they can look outwards. And that's really hard as a Tracer to like dismantle. You have to have a pulse bomb and hope to hit a support. All these ults already up again for Gamersorigin. They've been dominating these early engagement fights. And there's another Graviton. Where's the follow through the fish? Yeah, it is cracked, but a little bit too late. Only gets 1. The angle not ideal. Counter grab comes in. Pulse bomb will come in on that counter grab. 1, 2, 3. 2 tanks and a support now down. That is where Helsinki's bread is buttered, or what? Salmon is sour creamed, I guess would be more appropriate. That's what, I don't know, that's what they were serving today at lunch. I mean, well, sour cream was for the chili con carne. Was it? Yes. They put sour cream on fish in Finland, I think. Well, I mean, I can't argue. We do see actually Dixie going back in with the blade, but even if that's the sound barrier, they want to take this fight. Now the Earthshatter's going to connect onto 2, but he's not able to get the kills because BBR, Ruape, and as more importantly, I believe that was Soldier Exceed, able to get the attack visor off from long range, and they invest a hell of a lot into this to try to hold the point, but they're not going to do any of that. Don't think I forgot about the salmon talk, because I saw you eating salmon at lunch today. I did. And you ate it really awkwardly. Oh, they put all the sauce on the skin, so I ate the skin on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one, because I don't eat the skin of fish. When in Rome, do as the Romans. When in Finland, do as the Finlandians. I also don't eat the tails off of shrimp. Well, only if they're deep fried. Man, just all my demons coming out, all my culinary habits. I do eat the shells of sunflower seeds all at once. I used to. Yeah, that's just messed up. Yeah. But I'm sure your insides are all cleaned up. Scratched up, but cleaned up. Scratched up. It's just like eating a handful for a week. Eating a handful of gravel. What's up with you? All right. When in Rome, I guess. That's your excuse. So I'm going to use it too. I'm going to take that one. Anyways, we do see Helsinki Red try to push this payload up. They do get through the doorway here. Hip does have his boost, and Hardest is about to have his Deadeye too. So I'm curious the direction they want to go for. I think maybe want to Deadeye Graviton this one. Actually, they're going to Benbest here to maybe build some 0%, but also the pressure that a Reinhardt with the fire strike to the face can apply. Also, the Bio Grenades have just been so damn good out of Gamersorigin. Hip is really coming up big here.
Yeah. Well, Zari's dancing around. Will eventually take one to the dome, and the slaughter is on as they will find Pretty Wise unable to retreat. I don't know what this Lucio's doing out here, thinking that he's going to get a kill. In fact, just gets flashbanged and finished out. Could have gotten back to his team, but instead feeds a little bit more ult, and it's really just been the ult game for Gamersorigin. They've had the better ult economy for the most part. Helsinki Reds has the one thing that's won them fights in the last, 20 minutes. Graviton into Pulse Bomb. It's really all that they've got. Noki's close to a Transcend.
Oh, that Graviton was really lackluster, to be honest. I was actually wanting them to back away to hold
they wanted the Deadeye, yeah.
Or just wanted them to come through the doorway and grab them because they're going to be funneled in a little bit better.
It's a little bit greedy.
Yeah, a little bit. I think cockiness again is something that definitely Gamersorigin is feeling here.
I mean, you say they can't rely on the Graviton Pulse Bomb, but it has really been like the only thing that's winning them fights.
So I mean, they're relying on that, but you shouldn't rely on one combo to win you like a fight
with you,
map.
And now it's going to be negated because Noki, if he gets caught in his Graviton, is going to be able to sound barrier. Dixie Dix goes in very deep, and Pretty Wise been punishing people who've been getting on him all day. Now they're just going to take a little slow push in, knowing that they've got the player advantage. Hype now also down. They don't need to really use a whole lot more ults. That Primal Rage popped in. That's it. The grab did go down somewhere in there.
They caught like quite a few people, but I don't think Lumera got the Pulse Bomb off, or maybe he got Earth Shattered so the Pulse Bomb wasn't able to be used, and they tried to use it like last second.
They do win the fight. Only a minute on the clock, though, Jason, so before second point, they very likely could end up in overtime. I can imagine this all can be free push.
I think this Bemba switching over to Winston, though.
Huh. Well, you got to take... Well, I mean, you do need some rooftop control now. You can't just let them sit up there and do whatever they want. So you do need a tank that can get up there and at least present the idea of a threat.
Bemba's actually getting very low on HP there, being shot off, I think, from long range. Hardest as well, very low in health. Needs to be healed up here. Hip is all over that one.
Yeah.
Just reading my mind here at 60% on his nano boost. The payload's still being contested for the front. I'm surprised there's no one flanking Gamersorigin on the defense here. I mean, you could easily throw someone up there. They can throw Exceed in that position, but they're going to charge straight through here. Crowd again looking for that 1v1 up against Hardest to force him out of the fight. He should be able to do just that, which they do invest the Transcendence as well around the corner to help out for that one. And so far, it's going all red.
They've done a much better job of when they're using ultimates to ignore the front line and just get to the back. I mean, Hype has died the last couple of fights based on just targeting him because of the ultimates that they're using. I think they've decided that if we're going to use ults, let's just get to the primary targets, and then once Hype is out, it's such a big source of healing that you're going to be able to win those fights anyway.
Back to Ryan, they're going to hold the doorway here. They don't want to let them actually push out into this phase of the map. Benbest back on him. Poco has Graviton as well, so if they group up, it's going to be looking very grim for them with Hardest having that Deadeye too. I think Exceed has his visor, but his visors, they haven't been bad. It's just like they're not attacking the shield really at all.
Con comes in, grabs 3. The anti-heal is there. The hammer comes in. Only end up finishing 2, but that's enough to at least stifle the fight. Not the flashy play you need, but the fight-winning play that actually ends up working out. They are on the cleanup crew now, getting any stragglers left outside.
You know what always annoys the hell out of me, Hacks, like in comp, is whenever there's like a Zarya on your team, so this is like 2 seasons ago when I was playing, I was talking about, and they grab, but without checking if your Ana has Bio Grenade first.
Right.
And like there's a Transcendence that just is used in the middle of it. It's like, bro, if you waited like 3 seconds, I would have been able to bio it and we would have had a clean wipe.
Yeah.
But I think Gamersorigin are being very smart about this. Whenever Poco uses his grab, they always have a Bio Grenade ready.
Well, there's a boosted blade coming in as Dixie Dix also gets a sound barrier. He's got a very angry Winston in his face. Pushes out the Transcend. Not a lot of kills, not the flashiest of plays again from those ultimates, but effective to extent. A counter grab comes in. Where is the follow-up? There's the follow-up yet again. I can't count that high, Jason, but I think I've been told 2 + 2 = 4. That is 4 kills on the Pulse Bomb from Lumera, and they can't count on it, but they've been counting on it.
It's good to know you passed preschool math.
Well.
All right, we're going to be hitting overtime here as Helsinki Reds are trying to barrel down on the finishing of this map. We do have Deadeye available again and Earth Shatter just a few seconds. Even Graviton momentarily for Poco, who used it in the beginning of that last fight. And Helsinki Reds are pretty much running dry here in the well of ultimates. Graviton's going to be coming in. No Transcendence, no follow-up as well, but no Hardest with the Deadeye off to the side of the screen. And Benbest doing the 360s there. Able to get the kills, able to finally hold off Helsinki Reds. And now Gamersorigin, victory is in their sights. 61.42 meters past the second checkpoint. And they could be looking at a grand final berth.
Win conditions pretty easy for both teams. I mean, look, you don't want to bank on it. But you know what would stop some of these grabs into Pulse Bombs?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. Orisa.
What is the hero that would stop most of these?
She's not the hero we deserve, but she's the hero we need.
She's the hero we need. She would just use her Fortify, and that would be it. Right?
Yeah, right.
She'd live through it, maybe. Probably not.
Probably not.
But
I'm still so tilted she doesn't have like a charge. She's like a centaur.
They're looking at reworks, I think.
Okay.
I think your dad, Jeff, said they were looking at reworks.
That's true. I can't actually repeat what he tells me.
Yeah, that's true. You have NDA. NDA by blood.
Non-daddy agreement.
Sure, why not? All right, so this
I'm
was
sure the Austin Powers skit, like the daddy issues.
Yeah,
Daddy doesn't
right.
care. Yeah.
like he invented the question mark. Anyway,
Is that Prince? No. Yeah. So thinking about the map, right? How is Helsinki Reds going to defend the first point? I want to say they're going to run Zarya.
Wait for grab and then throw a pulse bomb into it.
Yeah, but you can't like that.
You keep saying they can't, but they keep doing it.
Twice.
They did 3 times that map. So you don't even know if I'm right or not. You can't even say that they didn't because that's how often they do it.
Knowing your math, it was twice.
All right.
I'm just going to subtract 1 from that.
Fair enough.
No, so twice or 3 times. But again, like you shouldn't have to depend, if you want to be a team, like a top tier team, you shouldn't have to depend on one combo to win you a fight and to win you a map.
But both these teams are kind of clutching on grabs. I mean, the grabs have been winning them fights on both sides. So it really doesn't matter if like the Pulse Bomb is, I think Pulse Bomb's a flashier combo, but they've been clutching on Deadeye grabs and just hammer grabs. Like, really, it's been a tale of 2 Zaryas for the most part, the deciding of these fights.
The best of times.
Yeah.
It's the worst of times. Grapes
It was
of
the
wrath.
Zaryas of times. Oh, come on, dude.
Of mice and men.
All right, we're moving on.
Kill a mockingbird.
Tale of 2 Cities. Come on, get it right.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so
I'm just going off on like
I know
high
you're
school books that I read.
trolling.
But I didn't
Got it.
read. I just Googled it, like most people should be doing.
Yeah, Cliff Notes.
Yeah, exactly. Helsinki Reds are on the defense. Are running Reinhardt. Rupe going to be running that one, but well, that's just what we talk about. It does get taken down by Ben Best here, showing who's the best Reinhardt in this situation. Poco at 40% on his grab already. Pretty wise on the honest. They switched quite a few things up here. Helsinki Reds trying to adapt to what Gamersorigin has been doing, but this pressure into that staircase is really funneling where Helsinki Reds can defend from.
Yeah, just up top, though. Look at this. Crime is all alone, just Ghostbuster beaming down, but he is all alone, as I mentioned. He will be cleaned up eventually by his counterpart. Poco has been going nuts here. He's going to have grab ready. They shouldn't need it, and they shouldn't use it. They're just going to chase in. They will grab first point rather easily. A much stronger first offense for Gamersorigin than for Helsinki Reds.
I'd do it. I would grab, but I'm also a plat scrub. No, that's giving Platinum too little credit. I'm a gold scrub.
Yeah. Untrue.
Yeah.
It's too humble.
Yeah.
Too humble. Well, they're just going to get very aggressive here going forward, and Kryma, even though he was the last one alive, is only at 60%, and since we talked about it being a tale of 2 grabs, it's really important to note that Poco has his. The follow-up could be,
though.
well, it doesn't. You can use a million different things. You could just let Ben Best go through. You could Earthshatter a grab if you want. I think it's doubling down too hard, but there it is. There's the grab. See what follow-up? The follow-up is just the Byron A. They're trying to crack the shield. They crack the shields, and that is Rupe and DBR down. Hardest going hard again, all the way in. The last one alive is Kryma, but he gets punched to death. That is shades of Beta 1. That's like the reunited special, right? You crack the shield and get the Deadeye.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay. The amount of frag videos, they put clips of that in.
Yeah.
Disgust me. No, yeah, that was really well done. Also, I think Ben Best should have known. I was thinking, like, is he putting shield up to block a potential Earthshatter coming his way? But he should know that Rupe had no chance of having Earthshatter. So definitely there to protect hardest to make sure you get that clean Deadeye up. And now the thing is, if you're Helsinki Reds coming out of spawn, you don't know where they are. Look at hardest inside the saloon. If anyone comes his direction, he's going to pick up a kill. Wimeras, I think, directly under him with a pulse bomb. If he can kill him, they're going to eliminate the entire combo that Helsinki Reds have been depending on.
Well, they're flying, and they give Dixie Dix all of the tools that he needs. He gets Soundbird, he gets Nanoed, he's got 2 targets in his sight, gets at least 2. There's a counter grab from Krymo, but he only had 7 HP. He wasn't going to be his own follow-through. They didn't have any follow-through on the ground. The remaining members here trying to stall out. It's just Wumera. He's doing a decent job of dancing around, but not for long as the nade's going to splash him down. Gamersorigin continues to roll through. They've been staggering the economy so well in the last couple of maps, and they have a closeout Earthshatter. Jason, they've got over 5 minutes to get this just a little bit further.
Well, we talk about combos to win the map. Graviton 50% away. Is that something they can wait for here? Even have a nano boost to throw into Ben Best, who's been sitting on his Earthshatter for quite a long time, actually. Ever since, actually, he hasn't used a single Earthshatter.
Hasn't needed to. They've been using everything else. It's the order of operations. They know which combos they want to use fights, and they've executed them perfectly. A Desperation May comes out of all things from Wumera, catches them off guard. A beautiful shatter, knocks down 3, will get the charge onto an anti-healed but boosted Winston. Not going to matter. He's the only one left. He gets shot out of the sky by Hype. Exceed has to retreat all the way back. Going to go up top.
Where's
He
Hardest?
might have to sacrifice his body. He might have to go hard. Hardest can absolutely just zone Deadeye this. He's up front with his team. They're running squad mode now. 3 up back, 3 up
I
front.
actually don't see him.
He might be all the way in the back for a Deadeye.
Oh my god, is anyone going to touch it? I finally do get on top of the point here. Sorry about that, Hex. And you can see Rupe trying to come in with his Primal Rage as well. And the Deadeye from above. He's going to wait for the Maid to get the ice block out. Pick up the kill. The Diva! We're seeing the Diva! Helsinki Reds have finally been able to pick it up here. That flashbang coming through. He finishes off the kill too. I think this is it, Hex.
Yeah, but there's a late grab. It's on there. Grabs everyone. Poco with his own cleanup there. And Gamersorigin will dash the hopes of hometown heroes Helsinki Reds. A valiant effort early on. They had all the momentum coming out of map number 1, which was Numbani. Gamersorigin took their map choice in Nepal. And Gamersorigin just steamrolled there on the last point of Hollywood. Not a whole lot of resistance. Some late changes from Helsinki Reds. Maybe if they'd practiced them earlier, would have gone different. Umera had highlight play after highlight play, but a lot of these should go at least half credit to Zarya. This one, false bomb right in there. 1, 2.
Have you seen the Reddit clips of like people who splice together the ults, so they have like point of view of like Zarya,
Those
point
are
of view of
really cool.
Tracer?
That should be a native feature in my opinion.
That would be really sick.
Because there's so many setup ultimates in the game you never get credit for.
Yeah.
Like I played a lot of Zarya in those early seasons and I loved it. I was like, I know this play of the game's mine. I'll enjoy the Tracer, but it'd be nice to get a little sidebar, a little assist.
Yeah, a little
You know?
like Wimera as
least-
assisted.
At
by
least
Kraken.
now they put you in the kill feed. You used to not even get in the kill feed.
Remember when there
assist.
wasn't a kill feed?
I do, Jason.
I remember casting that.
Do you remember when the avatars were at the bottom of the screen?
I do actually.
That was like close.
I remember having to make a new in-game overlay like every single time,
Yes.
every single day. So well, let's see how that one's gonna go. But yes, so we do have Gamersorigin moving through to the grand finals. We still have another semifinal coming up though.
Thank you, Jason,
And I guess
as
we're gonna
well.
head over to interview on the stage.
Congratulations, Gamersorigin, on your final spot.
Yeah, it was a close match, but yeah, we definitely win. The first map was, I don't know, it was like a warm-up for us. We were just not in the game, doing a lot of mistakes. And so yeah, after on Nepal, we won 3-0, and then we focused on Hollywood. And yeah, well, Airways, sorry.
That's okay. You either gonna face Team Giganti or Ensa Esports. I know you played against ENS on the group stage. Does it matter who you're gonna face in the finals?
No. I know that ENS won this morning or something like that. So the match will be nice to watch, but we don't know. Whatever.
All right, I'll let you go. Enjoy your little break before the finals. And when we come back to Helsinki, it is time for our second semi-final. And in that, it's going to be Team Gigantic going toe-to-toe with Ensa Esports. Don't go too far away.